I swore I'd never tell anyone this story, but here I am, typing it out for strangers on the internet. It started on a Friday night, when my bank account showed $14.27, and rent was due Monday. My fridge held half a bottle of ketchup, a few sad slices of bread, and nothing else. I'd already sold my textbooks, skipped meals, and begged for extra shifts at my part-time job. Nothing. So when a guy I barely knew offered me $50 cash to clean up after his house party, I said yes without asking questions. $50 meant groceries. It meant maybe covering the gas bill before they shut it off. But when I showed up, it wasn't just empty beer cans and pizza boxes. It was vomit on the carpet, a clogged toilet, and some mystery stain on the couch that I still don't want to think about. I stood there with a cheap sponge in my hand, swallowing my pride, reminding myself, it's just money. Just get it done. The deeper I got into that house, the worse it became. The air reeked of stale beer and something sour I couldn't place. There were Solo cups stacked in corners, sticky floors that clung to my shoes, and cigarette butts floating in half-empty bottles. I told myself to power through. $50. Just $50. But then one of the guys from the party came back, still drunk, still loud. He leaned against the doorway, watching me scrub the carpet, and laughed. Man, you'll do anything for cash, huh? His buddies joined in, pulling out their phones like I was some kind of freak show entertainment. I wanted the floor to swallow me whole. Every swipe of the sponge felt heavier. Every laugh felt like a knife. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, the guy who hired me tossed me a trash bag and said, don't forget the bathroom. It's bad. The bathroom was a war zone. Toilet overflowing, sink coated in something sticky, towels shoved into corners like crime scene evidence. I gagged just stepping inside. But then it got worse. While I was on my knees scrubbing, someone banged on the door and yelled, yo, hurry up, maid service. Laughter erupted on the other side. I froze, humiliated, sponge dripping in my hand. When I finally opened the door, two guys were standing there with their phones out, recording me. One of them smirked. Smile for TikTok, man. Easy $50, right? The room spun. My face burned. Every instinct told me to drop everything and walk out. But $50 meant food, and food meant survival. So I kept cleaning, swallowing what was left of my pride while strangers laughed and filmed. By the time I dragged the trash bags to the curb, my hands reeked of bleach, my jeans were stained, and I was shaking, not from exhaustion, but from the raw shame of knowing I'd just been entertainment for a bunch of drunk idiots. And all I could think was, this is the lowest I've ever been. When it was finally over, he handed me a crumpled $50 bill like it was some grand favor. I shoved it in my pocket, muttered, thanks, and walked out without looking back. I remember sitting in my car, hands raw from bleach, clothes reeking of beer and piss, and just staring at that bill. It didn't feel like money. It felt like proof of how low I'd sunk. I bought groceries the next morning, sure, but every bite tasted bitter. Weeks later, someone sent me a TikTok clip. Me, hunched over that disgusting bathroom, scrubbing while a group of drunk guys cackled behind the camera. The caption? $50 well earned. It had thousands of views. My stomach dropped all over again. But here's the thing, looking back, that night became my line in the sand. The humiliation stung, so bad it lit a fire under me. I picked up double shifts, applied for every job I could, and swore I'd never crawl that low for cash again. The $50 disappeared fast. But the memory of that night? That's still with me, every time I open my wallet.